is to feed people during the winter months when there's no work for day laborers and there's certainly no work for homeless people. And it provides a meal when people don't have money in their pockets to be able to go and buy their own meal. So during the winter months, from December to March, every Saturday and from early in the morning until lunchtime, and every Friday, just a simple breakfast, we provide a meal to whoever comes in, whoever is in need.
It almost sounded like a skate.
I was born in the north of England and came to the United States 2 lifetimes ago, in 1970. I read about Sanctuary Program. It was their second year, I believe. It was the second year in existence, and they were advertising that they fed day laborers on a Saturday morning. And I happened to be coming round past that church on a Saturday morning, and I thought, wouldn't that be great? We could get working people out on a Saturday morning to do some good in the world. I walked in down the stairs, and there were a few people there cooking, and I said, I've come to find out what this is about. Great, good, stay, put on an apron, can you make a pot of coffee? And the rest is history. It really is. And it was so funny because I was so nervous about walking into a group of strangers that I didn't know, to a situation I didn't know, but I just knew that it was the right thing to do. They needed people, and it was on a Saturday. Bingo!
I was not feeling terrific. If anyone was feeling it, probably be me. Monday, I went to work.
Take a sip.
Tuesday, I didn't. Yeah, no, that's fine.
I come in and start preparing whatever hot meal that we're going to do for the day. Most of the time it's a soup. So we chop up vegetables and cut down or take apart a ham or turkey or chicken, whatever protein that we get for the week, and saute the vegetables and start the stock for the soup, and then put together a soup for somewhere between 30 and 60 people.
Last season we served around 1,500 people, but going back a few years the numbers were far greater, so the need was greater. I think when we first began we were serving 4,500 people in a season, so the number of people has gone down, which is a good thing. We're here for whoever comes.
When I come in, I help get bagels and the donuts onto trays, and the coffee's not made. Start the coffee and get the milk and the sugar and the cups and that kind of stuff out. Everybody who comes in the morning starts, the first thing we do is get the breakfast items out so that people can start eating breakfast. I mean, it doesn't typically take 2.5 hours to put together a soup. The first thing we do is get breakfast out on the table and then start the prep for lunch. What I cook is what shows up. So Sandra does the shopping for the week, and she buys vegetables and whatever meat that happens to be on sale that would work for us. And so we go from there. Pretty much what shows up gets cooked.
Oh, okay, so I've been involved in the program almost since its beginning. The Latino Coalition is a civil rights organization, and members of the group founded the program. It's been 13, 14 years now. The Latino Coalition is a civil rights organization, and members of the group founded the program. It's been 13, 14 years now. So we started out over at the church on Throckmorton, and then moved over to the Reformed Church, and have been over here for the last several years. So I've been involved in that organization almost since the beginning of this program. So I help coordinate. Latino Coalition has traditionally provided a lot of the funding to keep the program going. I'm also a registered nurse, so I do blood pressure checks and things like that. So it's a civil rights group. They were involved way back when the township was trying to get rid of the day laborers, really, and they were trying to make them move away. They had an area where they would congregate looking for work, and the township tried to get them to move further out of town, basically to discourage them from looking for work in town. And so the Latino Coalition was involved with a lawsuit that forced the township to provide a space for them. And so we've just continued various civil rights activities around the county ever since then, things in the courthouse and things in the schools. So
We have churches as Presbyterian Church. This church we use as Methodist Church, so that's 2. We have people from Jewish temples, that would be 3. And we have people of no formal religion or atheists, which is fine. As long as people have a good heart, that's all that counts. When people are curious about the program, they'll say, well, where do you get your funding? And I'll say, we accept donations. So people will either make a donation to the cause, or they will buy and give gift cards to grocery stores, which to me is the perfect way. If I have a gift card, then I can go out and buy whatever food we need week by week, and it gives me a good handle on the finances.
You don't have to rinse them out. Oh, in the bylaws.
The figures have softened considerably. I would say from 10 years ago, we saw around 4,500 people for the whole season. And this year it looks as if we won't even make 1,500 for the season. In 10 years ago, we were serving 175 people, let's say, on a Saturday, something like that. And today we're serving no more than 60 on a Saturday. So the numbers have considerably dropped off. We do have it from asking people the reason for this, and they said people are frightened to come out. They don't want to be seen on the streets. So that really affects the number of people that we can serve, not the number of people in need. The people in need are staying home.
They're just afraid, they want to get everything ready.
We don't ask names. Chatting with the folks standing in this crowded line, they're waiting for documents at the Mexican consulate's mobile office in Freehold. And in the wake of this weekend's national roundup of almost 700 unauthorized immigrants by ICE, twice the usual number of applicants showed up here today, according to the advocacy group Casa Freehold.
They feel nervous. They don't know what is going on tomorrow.
I don't know. I don't really want to talk about this situation right now, because I know this is gotta be what happens. You never know. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, or maybe next month.
Absolutely, people are fearful. There are police vehicles visible at various times in Freehold, and people are very wary about being out on the street. And they say we don't want to be deported. One gentleman said he was waiting for his hearing on a deportation, and it affects the bearing of people. It affects the way they live and the way they feel.
over the years, things have gotten much better. There's been a lot more acceptance and a lot less of that kind of negativity. But now with this administration, people are afraid again in ways that they haven't been before. Some of our numbers have been down a little bit over the course of the winter just because people have become more afraid to go out of their houses again. So that's something we haven't seen for a number of years.
We have 12,000 people in Freehold. 6,000 are immigrants. Most of those are undocumented immigrants. They are all hard-working family people.
I don't want to leave my family over here. I mean, it's a great country over here. It's a lot of opportunities. That's why everybody coming to work over here. It's not bad people, you know.
I know within my own community, people realize that immigrants are poorer than they can imagine, and so they want them to get help. They also want, a lot of people want them to be legal, but they don't realize the complexities of achieving that or the financial requirements needed to achieve that. They think it's an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. People don't have money, which is the big thing. And even people who have been here for 10 years, people who've been serving for 10 years, don't have the means to engage a lawyer or to start immigration proceedings. I would say people this year have been more generous with contributions, not particularly with large donations, but people have given small grocery gift cards at maybe $25 a pop or $50 a pop, which has seen us through the season.
We usually get donations from a few companies of bagels and baked goods and things of that nature. And this year we got less. One of the companies that normally had donated is not donating again this year. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that it's that we predominantly feed immigrants, legal or undocumented. I think it has more to do with economics, and that these companies were donating items that were like overrun, and I think they're just not producing as much baked goods as they had in the past.
Obviously, we still have large donors, for which we're incredibly thankful. But people who come to volunteer are very happy to bring cans of coffee or gallons of milk, which go a long way towards helping us feed people. The advice would be to jump in, but first do the legwork. Do some looking around. Walk through Freehold. Do the legwork and see who's out there on the streets. Do the voice work. Talk to people. Talk to people you know. Talk to people you don't know. What programs are there? What do they need? What do people need? And then do the introspective work. Do the heart work. What is it that you would really like to do but you're too scared to do, which is how I was.